This is the video review for Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Cyberverse Legion Hun-Gurr, the main component of old school Abominus, and as it turns out, the main component of new school Abominus, which hopefully when Wave 3 comes out, we'll get the last 3 people we need to make that happen. But he's a two-headed dragon. He's got a tail. He's got 2 heads. He also comes with a darker version of the Lancer-esque chainsaw gun that came with Smokescreen. It looks like between the 5 different Terrorcons, they're just recycling weapons. The hammer that Twin Strike had, this weapon, and then the crossbow that apparently so far has come with Arachnid. Yeah, so you're going to get some multiple weapons. They say you can plug it into the side of his leg. I think it looks kind of silly there on the dinosaur, or the dragon, but whatever. It doesn't look nearly as natural as Twin Strike's hammer can look plugged in. Just a quick comparison in Beast mode. There he is with Twin Strike, aka Sinner Twin. Just to get an idea of how they look together. Transformation to his robot mode is actually fairly simple. You take these front claws and just fold them up like that, stand them up, flip the dragon heads around to form his feet, bring the arms down, rotate them out up here at the shoulder joint, flip the claws up, then take the tail and flip it up and around onto his back, and there is Hun-Gurr in robot mode. And again, he can hold his weapon however he likes. He's got some paw joints up here at the shoulders, the swivels, ball joint knees, and then he's got some swivels on his feet. His head does not turn. So that's pretty much it for articulation. Not bad, though, for a Cyberverse Legion. And again, in robot mode-wise, here he is with Twin Strike. Just to give a look at them together. However, like I said, and also just to get an idea of how he looks like with a Cyberverse Commander, thematically, there he is with Predaking. So yeah. Also, as I mentioned, he is the main part of the Abominus Combiner. There's a Target-exclusive pack that has all 5 of them with supposedly different decos, and I think they're doing it in a way where if you want to have like a G1 accurate deco, you'll need to buy some of the Cyberverse and some of the and then buy the 5-pack again, because Twin Strike and Windraiser, who is the analog for Cutthroat, in their individual releases both look pretty much G1. Hun-Gurr, as you can see, he's red and more of a bone white, when he should be kind of a purple and gray. And I'm wondering if the Target recolor is going to be a more G1-esque paint scheme on him and Blot, aka Blight and Ripper Snapper. Because the individual releases, Blot is more blue and with less purple. Although I guess the individual release Blight could look more, could stand in for G1. But Ripper Snapper is more blue with some white accents. And I think if they reverse his colors, he'll look more G1. But again, supposedly the box set's going to have a different color scheme. I don't know what that's going to be. I expect at least Hun-Gurr will have a more G1-esque color scheme. Twin Strike, it's going to be hard to do since he's already pretty much there. But anyway, that's just my analysis on that. So we'll go ahead and take the gun off of here and set it off to the side. And then basically to turn him into the torso component, you flip his feet down like that. You rotate his hands up above his head. Now lift the paws up a little bit, and you can position those later once it's all said and done. And you come back here, you pull this, you take his robot mode chest, and you slide it down. There's a little tab on the back of his tail here that plugs into the slot right here on the back of his abdomen. So you slide this whole thing down and plug it together, and that lowers the hips for combined mode, as well as allows you to now flip his robot mode head up. This head also does not rotate, but flip up his combiner head. Like there's the size of his robot mode head. You can see them together there. But you flip out his Gestalt head up like that, and then of course the paws stay up like this. Now there are some connectors. It looks like there's a peg in the slot, an almost matching slot here on the hand. So I don't know if there's going to be any, like in the actual box set, if there's going to be any extra combiner pieces that plug in here. Nothing I've found plugs into there yet. But he does have some suspicious pegs and tabs, or tabs and slots here under his paws. Whether those are going to be utilized at some point down the road, I do not know. But he looks fine with these flipped up right now. Also down here on the dragon heads, there are some clips right here. And I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure if those are going to be utilized. I'm not sure if Blot and or Blight and Ripper Snapper have clips that clip on here if they use the peg holes in the feet or how they're going to attach yet. I've just seen pictures of combined mode. But if you take Twin Strike and you can flip him around, go ahead and fold his. Apparently, officially, he's an arm, and we'll get into that later. But take him, flip his head in, flip his heads down and around like this, and then fold them up like that. Bring these legs down and around so that the heads and the prig legs kind of form like, so you can see the claw hand here, like the fingers here and the fingers on this side, to make kind of a claw hand. Bring these up. You see these pegs inside of his legs match up with the two pegs here on either side of his arms. So you take Twin Strike, plug him in up like this. Plug the pegs into the tab there, just like that, and that attaches him as an arm for Gestalt mode. It is a little heavy, but I found that in different positions it supports itself just fine. Some of the pictures have showed this paw flipping all the way up. You can flip that down if you want a more compact shoulder. Without any extra armor pieces, I think it looks a little silly with that sticking straight up, but it's entirely up to you. You can position that paw however you want. And one of the things I was curious about, people were asking, are these Scramble City? Well, I don't know, because again, I don't know how Blot and Ripper Snapper are going to attach down here and whether they'll be capable of attaching up here. Possibly. I haven't seen any evidence of that, but of them being able to attach up here, but it is possible. I do know that you can take, if you take Twin Strike here and transform him differently, where you flip this up, flip the legs around, the feet up and around like this, fold these out and around to the side here. Yep, popped his head out. Bring these down like this. Rotate his feet around like this. I guess that's not a super important part, but it gives something. But basically get all this stuff down here level so it's kind of looks like a foot there. You can take his dragon head, flip it back. Inside there's a part of his mouth that does function as a peg hole, and you can actually snap that right in here. Use the pegs on his leg here to attach it, and use Twin Strike as a foot as well. And he can actually kind of support himself, if you get him balanced right, like that, just to get an idea of how big he's going to be. But also, if you're crazy, you can do that. You can just get a couple extra Twin Strikes and attach them to here, and then get another one up here and plug him in. And there is all Twin Strike and Hun-Gurrr Abominus. Just to get an idea of about how big he's going to be. Now, obviously, he's going to look much different when you've got all the different colors and the various the creatures that make up the arms and legs. But just to have a complete combiner there, you can do that. So, like as you can see, at least Twin Strike, and probably since they have the same type of peg system on Windrazor / Cutthroat, you might be able to use him as a leg as well. So it really all depends on how Ripper Snapper and Blight attach, and whether they use that clip or whether they're capable of plugging into the dragon head. They might be Scramble City. You might be able to, and it's looking likely considering you can do this with Twin Strike, but that's not 100% confirmed yet that I'm aware of. But yeah, and then just to get an idea of what he looks like combined with Predaking, there you go. So he's about a deluxe-sized figure when you got them all combined. I do reiterate my statement that I would like to see a combiner made out of all Cyberverse Commander class figures, just to see if they could get maybe a little bit more engineering to make him look not quite so spindly as Abominus here, but or even have just a Commander class as a core for a combiner. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Certainly not in Beast Hunters. I think we've seen most of what we're going to be getting from that line. So, oh well. I do like, however, that with the kind of dragon claw hands and everything else, and when you see the actual picture of the combined Gestalt, that he looks more like he lives up to the name Abominus. Like, he looks like he's an abomination. And that's cool. With the giant claw hands and things like that. But I really am looking forward to getting the last 3 guys so we can do this officially instead of with 4 Twin Strikes. But there you go, just to get an idea of what he looks like. So yeah, there is Cyberverse Legion Hun-Gurr with his minions.